It's been a while, man. This feels weird, but it feels good at the same time.
Yeah, seriously.
Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another video. So we're back to the original setup. Justin's behind the camera. Now I'm back. Been a little busy with some side work and stuff like that. But so Justin probably talked to you guys about my little screw up, but we got it fixed. So what ended up happening was the day, I think, was it two videos ago?
2 videos ago, yeah.
So I took the fuel pump out and I didn't get too far on it. I gotta talk to you guys a lot actually today. But don't skip, it's good stuff. So I was like, hey, I'm done with the fuel pump. I'm gonna slide in my little spacers in between the subframe and the rest of the car. So I was doing that, all of them went in fine. Last one, started throwing it at my hand. I was like, all right, whatever. Hit it with an impact and it didn't go in. So I ended up cross-threading that bolt and it got really bad. So I'm like, oh shoot, we're gonna have to like drill that out, tap it. Luckily, dropped the subframe today. While I was busy, Justin got most of the bolts unscrewed and stuff. I didn't have to mess with any of the steering, sway bar. I literally just unbolted it from here, the strut mounts, and it just slid out. And then once that cleared up, I used one of the good bolts and slowly threaded it back in, reversed it back out, and then did it to all of them. That one was kind of bad, the front one. Really wasn't too bad, but it was bad. The back one was the worst. That one was just jacked up. So I tried doing that same method, you know, threading it a little bit in, threading it back out, and started getting a little rough. So I ended up putting the bolt in the vise, notched it so it would work like a tap, and kept it going. And by the time I pulled the bolt out, there was a bunch of gunk and burrs right where I had notched it. So that worked out beautifully. So we're set there. Anyways, back to the fuel pump. So told you guys that it was a 450 or a 485. As I was putting this back together, for some reason, the spacer that they had provided, which, what did we do with that? Oh, that's right here. So this came with like a little plastic spacer, and it actually goes underneath this O-ring. Sits in here, then the O-ring sits on top about that high. Anyways, I couldn't get that spacer on. That diameter was way bigger. And from the videos that I saw online, like everything else just fit fine, and the spacer was supposed to slide on. So I ended up filing that spacer down to get it to fit, and finally did. But so on that fuel pump, we have our positive and negative like around this area, and you see that you got here. Hold on, let me get here. I'll just use these plate scissors. So you got the spacing around this, right here. So on that pump, the connections are so close to the feed that when I slide my spacer in, it hits here and here, so it won't sit flush. So with that said, I kind of just dropped it in and praying for the best right now. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't create a perfect seal, but my fix to that would be maybe stacking 3 O-rings on there and see if we can get it to seal. Still a little weirded out, so I decided to do research. I looked up that part number. Turns out that part number is for a Hellcat fuel pump. It's a 525 liters per hour fuel pump. So contacted the people that are Full Blown or whoever I bought it from, and they're like, yeah, send us pictures, part numbers, this and this, and we'll probably get sorted out. But then I was like, you know what, let's run it. Let's see what happens. We are gonna have to run separate power lines from the battery to the back, just so we can power this like it needs to be powered. Gonna upgrade that wire and just hook it up to a relay so it engages the relay and then sends power to the fuel pump when we need it to do that. I'm gonna cut the feed from the top hat and drill it out probably to a -6. Has to be -6 because that's what our fuel line is. Going with nylon and attaching it to there. Push lock fittings. and then all the way to the front of the engine, having another 6 for the return, and that'll go back to the gas tank. But for the return, we also have another issue. I've learned a lot. We have an issue with the gas tank, and this seems to be a well-known issue in the community. But so we have a saddle style fuel tank. That means we have 2 humps, or we have like a center hump where it goes over the axle, and then you have like a cell over here and a cell over here. They're both connected, but how do you get fuel from this side to where the fuel pump is so it goes out to the engine? So there's no fuel pump here, only here. So we actually are gonna have to use a Venturi style fitting, and what that's gonna do is with the return, as it's flowing, it's gonna create a vacuum effect, and it's gonna suck the fuel from this saddle, or from this side of the fuel tank onto this side, and then we'll be able to shoot it back out to the engine. We do have to order a special fitting for that. There's only like one guy out there, one company that does it. I think the company is like Radium or something like that, but that should work. And if it doesn't, well, Justin's only he's gonna run out of gas on like half a tank.
Yeah, it's
so as soon as it hits half tank, donezo. But yeah, so sorry for all of the talking. There's just been a lot going on. I really wanted to explain that and why I then released that second video where I said, oh, we got like a Hellcat fuel pump in our FRS. That's because I accidentally discovered that later. Otherwise, I would have explained it in the first video. So this is gonna have to come apart again, probably to get that O-ring in there, and just so I can drill this out, get our dash 6 in, and then we should be all set. But for today, now that our subframe's all set up, we're gonna drop the engine back in. We have some clearance issues here and there. I think with the back of the oil pan. So this gets really close to the cross member, so we're either gonna have to cut it straight this way and either weld like a triangle on the back to get it to clear, or we might be able to cut this and then hammer it in. So we're gonna take the 2 pieces after we cut them and fold them over. So that's what that's where we're gonna cut. We don't really need this. We have a bunch of space over here. Anyways, the mounts are touching this part of the subframe. On this side, there's nothing that's gonna bend or be sketch about that. So I think that might be our best bet rather than cutting that oil pan. I really don't want to do that.
Especially since we're like amateur at welding.
Yeah,
it's a little sketch, dude.
That thing's gonna look jank by the time we're done.
I mean, at least it's down low.
Yep. So, and that's pretty much it, right? Did we do anything else? You pulled the fuel lines. They saw that in the last video. Yeah. If you guys didn't, go watch the video. Okay, guys. So then we also have one other thing that we got about. What's the delivery date on this? About 2 weeks ago, maybe? Or like.
Not sure.
Yeah, somewhere around there. It's probably been like 2 weeks. So I ordered this package. It's actually our engine harness. Ordered it from China. And the reason why I did that is because they're cheaper. Well, anyways, I saw this guy online. He ordered one from Alibaba, and he said the quality was really good, seemed legit, and like everything worked out. And so he got it for like 260 bucks or 280 bucks. Instead of paying like, what was it, like $400 or $500? So I was like, you know what, I'll take my chances. We'll give it a shot. Ordered it like in December, and then the coronavirus comes through. So I'm like, okay, they're gonna start building it, this and this. Then the lady contacts me, she's like, hey, she's like, it's the new year, it's gonna take a while. Then the coronavirus comes around, they can't go back to work for like another month. Then they finally go back to work, and then I get my package. But now we haven't opened it because we want to make sure that whatever's in here is dead. It's been sitting on the floor. I actually, when I grabbed it from my front door, I used gloves and like did not touch anything in the house and just threw it in the garage. So it's still sealed up. We want to give it time. We want to make sure it ferments itself. But yeah, this thing came straight from China. Precision tools, they work. Anyways, not listening to music. I don't have any earplugs. But that oil pan on that engine right now, I don't think anybody else has used that. I haven't seen anybody else use that oil pan. But for the swap, you have to use either Sicky's oil pan, I think, right? It's like 400, 500 bucks or something.
Yeah.
And, or you can use a GTO oil pan. And that's like same price, $400, $500. Front sump, essentially it works with a car. Well, this one, I think it was like 240 or maybe less. And it clears, it's pretty dang close to clearing. We thought it was gonna hit right here, right there, but it didn't. It's actually hitting here and here. So we're massaging it a little bit. We actually managed to drop it in, doing a little quick like test fit. And on this side we have about 1/4 of an inch of clearance, and on this one we had maybe close to 1/8. So gotta hit this one a little bit more, gonna tap that one a little bit more, and then gonna hit it with some paint, and we should be good. And once the engine's in, dude, it's go time from there. I think we can get like our water pump, pulleys, everything else on. That's gonna look sick. The fuel lines. I need to get some fittings too. We did a little bit more hammering, and the subframe we think is done. We hit it with some paint, and it looks like nothing ever happened. So, precision work. Yep. Well, I say we drop it in. Yeah. Engine ready. Yeah, so we're gonna drop it in now, and it's gonna clear for sure.
Perfect.
It's on the mount, guys. And the bolts are through. But now I think it's gonna be tight. But I think our oil pan might be sitting on the steering rack. Might be. Don't know yet, but I think we're gonna have to drop it and see where we're at. It's gonna be close. Dude, is it me or did it kind of like come this way a bit?
Might have.
I think it did. Whoa. You know what's happening?
They're not tightened down.
Yup. Okay,
Okay, we need to tighten those things, dude.
yeah, we did. So we tightened up the mounts a bit, so hopefully nothing else will crack or make cracking noises. There it is. Oh yeah, she's in there. I think once we have our transmission in place and those mounts, yeah, that'll really help it out. But that definitely gave us more clearance on the oil pan. Thank God. Hopefully the transmission keeps it level and doesn't bring it down. If anything, it should bring it up, I would think.
I think so too.
Because we have the shifter
Yeah.
So we have to.
They'll
get
be
that.
up, and then the mounts
Yep.
will hold the transmission up. So I think we're gonna be good.
Good deal.
That looks awesome, dude.
I can't stop staring at it.
Me either. I'm gonna come in here after we're done just to look at it. Just sit here. It's wild.
Who would have thought?
Little 4-banger turned into an 8-banger, dude.
Yeah, I know. Us doing it.
Yeah, seriously.
Building
I
it.
think that's what's more exciting, to be honest.
I know.
This is like
It's
us.
so freaking fun. Maybe this week we'll paint the crank, get the crank installed. I don't know. We will see. But look at that, guys. Can't stop looking at that. Man, that's gonna look awesome. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. We're back on track. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Thank you.